Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Super Feeler podcast. My name is Lori, and I'm very excited today to be joined by Alison and Laura for our episode of the Families mini-series. So if you haven't already clued in by now, I'm starting to highlight some family stories around borderline personality disorder, emotion regulation, and how families can support each other and how families are impacted by some of our challenges as well, both positively and negatively. So I'm really excited to have Alison and Laura here. I've met Alison before at the Sashbear walks, which I'm sure we'll get into. And Laura, it's nice to have you. So I would love to just learn a little bit about yourselves and like your family story. And maybe Laura, do you want to start and we can kind of talk about your journey into all of this?
Yeah, sure. So I am the middle child. I have an older brother and a younger brother. I was always an anxious child. My mom can probably tell you more, but I went 0 to 100 as early as I can remember. And we were just talking about it last night, but I think what some people would say difficult. I like to do the opposite of what was being asked of me and would just get really upset and have what people call temper tantrums, that kind of thing. And that kind of just continued on throughout my whole life. I also had a hard time in school. So I was kind of ostracized by the other girls in my class, didn't have a lot of friends, didn't have a lot of friends that would last, and I always felt like kind of I was on the outside of that. And then when I was in my 8th grade, grade 8, so the first year of high school, that's when things kind of really got really difficult, and I was hospitalized for the first time. And then I had 3 hospitalizations before we had the psychiatrist mention to us that they thought it was kind of this borderline BPD. But I was 13 and they don't diagnose, or it went, in my case, I don't know how it is now. It gets changed a little bit.
They technically can, but they just don't often.
Yeah.
They're just resistant to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because, the stigma around it and everything. So I was diagnosed with borderline personality traits, which I think was honestly the best thing that's happened to us. And then got into DBT therapy and all that. And we did that.
At that age? At 13?
I was super lucky.
Oh, that's amazing.
So lucky, because when I was hospitalized for the 3rd time, I think it was, that's when they said that's what they thought it was, and got right into DBT. I went from the hospital, discharged, into the individual therapy once a week, as well as the group therapy, and my mom and my dad went with me.
Wow.
Yeah. So got into that, and then we did that 2 years?
2.5 times, Laura. 26 weeks, 2.5 times.
You need to do it. Honestly, I feel like everybody needs to do it twice because it's so much information.
Yeah. And the first time we did it, I was not into it.
Yeah, fair.
I would go with my mom, and I was bribed. We would go for dinner and then go shopping. And so we spent many hours walking around Pacific Center and downtown Vancouver. And then we'd go to the group. We'd meet my dad, go to the group, and then I think I got a treat after as well.
Hey, whatever gets you there, right?
Yeah. So we did that for 2.5 times a session. And then I did individual therapy. And then, finished high school and went into university. And
So at 13, I'm so jealous, first of all. I actually just discovered on my psych record from when I was 13, they had put this code on there that said they were deferring a personality disorder diagnosis. And I had never, for some reason, I'd never Googled what that code was. And then when I Googled it, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that would have been so helpful to know. So I'm very jealous because that would have saved me a lot of time and energy not being diagnosed for another 6 years. But when you were learning DBT, like other than the bribery bits, which love that. I mean, my parents had to do the same for me to practice piano, so I very much understand. But did you see a change in your life that, like, from DBT right away or soon after?
People have asked me this and I would say no.
Interesting.
I think maybe I was so young, like I was 13, 14, 15 during that time, and so much change is happening with puberty, with just kind of coming into who you are. So I didn't notice a big change, honestly. I think the change was subtle and small things as I went through high school and on to university and even now. That when I look back, like big picture, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a lot that's happened there. But I think I was so lucky that I was so young that it got kind of ingrained into my personality.
Yeah. Oh, so lucky. I mean, I remember being in DBT and I was like 19 or whatever, 20, and people would be like, oh my God, I cannot imagine learning this and not having ruined my life for the last 40 years with unhealthy coping mechanisms, you know? So to even learn that younger is so cool. Just like, spoiler alert, at the end of June, I have the person on the podcast who actually developed that DBT adolescence program on the show. So spoiler alert for end of June. It was a great interview and I'm so excited to share that with all of you. So hearing it here first, Dr. Alec Miller coming on the show. So Alison, my question for you then is, did you see a change in Laura?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I did. And it was slow. And, honestly, Lori, I think it was a change in both of us.
Yeah.
And, I did see a change in Laura, to answer your question. And I see it often now because I think the benefit of the parent-adolescent DBT group and Family Connections in Sashbear is that we're speaking the same language. And that makes a big difference. And so now I hear her she'll say, I know I don't have perspective, but... And then she'll let it, she'll tell me something. And I know I don't have perspective is a message to me is, I already got this. I just want to tell you. And, if you want to throw in a few validations, knock yourself out. But I just need to get it out of me. And I don't need you to fix it. I already know I don't have perspective on this. I'm going to fix it myself. And that was gradual. And when I hear those words, I'm like, whoa.
Yes, I bet. And what did it change in you? Because I know that's a huge part of the dialectic behavior therapy for adolescents is the parents also recognizing that they maybe have some patterns that need to be changed.
Laura's probably better to answer that question. But from my perspective is I needed to learn how to regulate my own emotions first and drop the judgments really. And the stories I made up in my head. And we were talking about that just yesterday, just last night when we were talking about coming on this podcast. Laura had physical symptoms as well as sort of emotional symptoms, even as young as 3.
Like tummy aches, headaches,
exactly,
that kind
Lori,
of stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Same.
And
yeah.
I was kind of at that point, and I said to Laura last night, maybe this. I'm just going to be honest. I used to say Laura sensed weakness. So she said she had an older brother and a younger brother. And her younger brother, if we needed to go to a doctor's appointment, if anything, she'd refuse to put her shoes on or she'd refuse to go out the door or whatever. And, that's the story that I made up in my head, right? Laura senses weakness. So I didn't use any of those observe skills, noticing, nothing. Just went straight to a judgment. And then I acted on that Laura senses weakness. So Laura's was doing this intentionally.
Totally. Yeah.
Right?
I know my parents felt the same way about me. 100%. And it's not that.
No, but look at, she's Can I say it, Laura? She's 20. She's almost 26.
Yeah.
And we're still having these conversations about me, Laura.
Which is so cool.
But look how long it's... Okay.
Okay, yes, it's taken a long time, but you're having those conversations. There's so many families that don't have those conversations and can't have those conversations. And like, I'm so happy for you both that you can even talk about those things without it exploding,
Yeah, so it's hard.
Yeah.
As a parent, because, a long time ago, I had a lovely social worker when Laura was in the hospital in a longer term stay. And, I said, if only I had, and she just stopped and she pulled her chair right in front of me and she said, if it was one thing, we could fix it. And I hang on to that. And I hang on to in Family Connections, you learn those 4 basic assumptions. And I just hold on to, at the time, I was doing the best I could with the skills I had. And I know more now. And I don't get it right every time. As Laura and her brothers can attest to that. But I try. And I have to hold on to that. Because if I stay in I was a bad parent, I can't, how could I have a relationship with Laura if I was just like blaming myself,
Stuck
I have to be there for her so she can tell me things that are painful. And they are. Because if I'd known then what I know now, I wouldn't have, I would have known it's not an intentional behavior. There's no
it's not malicious, it's not manipulative.
No, it's not pain just like coming out.
Yeah. And Laura, I mean, like for me, I think of it as like a pain that nobody that doesn't have BPD can possibly understand the intensity of. Mm-hmm. And so when they see us react, they're like, this is so out of proportion. But it's not based on what's inside of us, right? It's only out of proportion to what they think we should be feeling in that moment.
Yeah. It's like, it's a hypersensitivity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like people who are allergic to something, peanuts, and they eat peanuts or whatever, and the reaction is just so big.
Yeah. That's a really good metaphor, actually. I've never heard that, but that's really, really good. So what, I mean, it sounds like you've had, you had mental health challenges your whole life, like from very early on. And it was really the hospitalizations that turned things around. Is that right? And did you guys know what borderline was when you were told you had borderline traits? No.
No. And
go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to say, for me, and I've talked about this with you, Mom, it was kind of a relief because I had all these, big feelings, mm-hmm. and also feelings of emptiness. And like those feelings were chronic, and those were what made me like have suicidal ideation, feelings, those kind of things. And nobody could tell me what it was. And we saw, I think it was 12 psychiatrists.
Wow.
And they were like anxiety, depression, the low-hanging fruit, the bipolar.
Easy to medicate.
Yeah. Bipolar. There was bipolar.
Okay. Yeah. They did throw that in there at one point?
Mm-hmm. They threw that in there.
And the meds.
The meds, yes. And, or like mood disorder.
Yeah,
NOS.
Unspecified or whatever. Yeah.
And even when I, got on the internet, nothing really would come up. Like I would Google it, as everybody does. And so I felt like nobody knew what was wrong with me, quote unquote, and that meant nobody could help me. I thought I was the only person like this, and it was some kind of flaw in myself.
Yeah, you're a horrible person, period. There's nothing else about it.
Yeah, this is just you. This is the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was the long-term stay I did was, I think, 6 weeks. And in the child and adolescent psych unit. And that was where, I don't know if the psychiatrists along the way knew and they just wouldn't say it. But the one psychiatrist we had, I remember it was towards the end of my stay, and she got out the DSM-5 and she gave it to me, and I read and gave me like the page with BPD and had me read it out. And it was the first time I had ever read something, seen something that resonated with me, and it was like, that's it. Like, that's what's happening to me. And I don't know if she talked about it with you guys first, Mom, or if she brought it up with me first, but
I think she brought it up with you first, Laura.
yeah. She was really, really amazing.
That's
and awesome. From there, it was kind of like, okay, we know what's happening, and here's what we can do.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part to me, is that we don't tell people, right? Like, just, yes, I understand there's stigma. I understand not everybody is like a fan of labels. I understand all these things, but like, they should be allowed to decide that for themselves and decide whether or not it's going to be beneficial for them. Because like, for both you and I, it changed our lives for the better to be able, and Alison, I'm sure, but you know, to be able to understand like, oh, I'm not just a flawed person, and this doesn't have to be like this for the rest of my life. Like, there is something I can do about it. Anyway, it drives me nuts that people just like don't say it earlier. So I guess the other benefit of getting that diagnosis, we talked about DBT already, but Alison, how did you find Sashbear?
So I didn't find Sashbear till 2022.
Oh, wow, way later.
Oh, yeah. So, and this is another thing that just gets me, is, dialectical behavioral therapy has been so helpful in our family, and why, as Laura said, we saw, like in one hospital, say there were 3 different psychiatrists and a social worker and a psychologist, and nobody said DBT. Like, this is a dysregulated person, and no one said to me, have you heard of DBT? And so I still kind of, I'm still a little angry about that, because I think had I known, we would have done it. And it's been so helpful for all of us.
It's helpful for every human being.
Gosh.
This is the thing. Like, it should be like the first thing that we teach kids in elementary school.
Parenting 101.
Right.
Yeah, and that.
Like I said to Laura, when babies are born, they should send you out of the hospital with a Sashbear pamphlet. Here you go.
Yeah.
This because it's these skill, and that's the thing, is we found out about DBT when she was 13, 14, and we did DBT. So the parent and adolescent group we did it with DBT Vancouver, and it was great. We were learning the skills beside her. So, and that's different for me anyway, from learning the skills. Like Family Connections is, as you know, DBT based, but we learned the skills from a different perspective. How do I use these skills? Like, yes, to regulate myself, mindfulness, those skills. And on top of that is, how do I, like relationship mindfulness, how do I remember that this is someone I love, and I have to bring my full attention to her without any judgment? And I didn't learn those, that DBT stuff I did, it didn't teach me that. Like, I couldn't turn that myself.
Right, you're more using it like as an individual as opposed to like as a unit.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is still helpful.
Sure. I could speak the same language, but and what I was doing was, Laura, you need to use your distress tolerance skills.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. As opposed to, okay, how do I parent this? In Family Connections, sometimes you talk about orchids and daisies. She's one of my orchids. How do I parent my orchid?
Do you want to explain that metaphor for people? Because not everybody's going to understand the orchid and daisies
I love
thing.
it. It's my
Me too.
It's my favorite. So some people are like daisies, right? You can plant them anywhere. You don't even need to plant them. Like the birds drop the seeds and they grow on the side of the road, and you can water them or not, and they can have sun or not, and they grow and they blossom. And other people are like orchids, and they're exquisitely beautiful, and they are so fragile, and they need just the right amount of water and just the right amount of sunshine to be able to really blossom. And I hold that because it helps me remember, I think I have 2 orchids. You can guess who the other one is, Lou. And I have more of a daisy. And it didn't work to try to parent my orchids like I parented my daisy.
Yeah, totally. They need totally different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you explain, I mean, obviously I know what Sashbear is, but not everybody that's listening to this will. So can you explain a little bit about like what Sashbear even is?
Sure, yeah. So the Sashbear Foundation was founded in 2011 by Lynn Curry and Mike Menu, who lost their daughter Sasha to suicide. And part of the mission and vision of Sashbear is education on the important role that families play in supporting a loved one with emotional dysregulation or borderline personality disorder, and advocacy as well, and sort of on the education piece, which is close to my heart. Sashbear administers the Family Connections program in Canada, and Family Connections was developed by the National Education Alliance for Borderline Personality Disorder in the U.S., which is now called
I was going to say BPD
Alliance.
I was going to say they just changed their name like last month or something.
Nicer name. And Family Connections is it's a 12-week program, once a week, and Sashbear delivers it virtually. So it's 2.5 hours once a week, and it's skills. It's a 12-week program of skills for people supporting someone with emotional dysregulation or BPD. So it's not for the person, it's not for the loved one, it's for the people around them to be able to have an effective relationship with the person that they love. And it's peer facilitated, so everyone who facilitates the program has lived experience. So we can, and I'm a facilitator, and we can share our experiences of how we've used the skills. And I think this year there are 184 volunteers in the winter session. I think over almost 700 participants registered. So it's really Sashbear Foundation is primarily volunteer driven. I'm grateful to have found it, and it has certainly changed, I think, right, Laura?
That was going to be my next question is like,
over to Laura.
Obviously, Alison, it's changed your life.
I think it has.
in a lot of ways. But Laura, what does it mean to you that your mom is doing Sashbear so, she's real into it?
It's really changed the dynamic in our family, I would say. Like when we did DBT, it was for me. It was me learning the skills, and my mom never really, she learned them for me and how to support me in them, but she didn't learn them for herself. So my mom was still very dysregulated. And when she started doing Sashbear, she became more regulated, started using the skills on herself. And that kind of changed the relationship a lot, I think, for the better. Because she wasn't going 1 to 100 as quick. And then was also able to support me better because she was more regulated. And then I, in turn, can speak the same language as her. And now we're both using the same skills. And it's also been a skills refresher for me too through my mom, because she shares everything she learns through
Awesome.
Sashbear. And I mean, you just love it, Mom. Like
I do.
the other day, you pulled up some model, like some work. You know that they do the thing where they're like this and then this and then this and then this.
Like
and
a flow chart kind of thing.
This.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. My mom was like pulling that up and she's like talking about it and so passionate and excited. And so it's just really, yeah, I would say the regulation aspect, taking perspectives, understanding. Because now my mom's like walking the walk instead of just talking the talk.
Well, and it sounds like you use the sessions like the debrief of the sessions as an opportunity to have discussions that you might not be having otherwise, which is huge.
Yeah. I remember the first time Laura said, I just want you to listen to me. And it was before, Family Connections. And now it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like we as parents so want to take the pain away. We just want to fix it so badly. And we're so, there's that piece. And then I think a big piece that kept me highly dysregulated, Laura, too, was fear, right? Like I was afraid all the time. And I was afraid she was going to, sometimes the dysregulated behavior. And sometimes I was just afraid she was going to get hurt and I didn't want her to get hurt. And so, that came out as like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't go there. No. Right. And well, that's not helpful or effective. I need to listen to her, trust her. She needs to trust me that I'm not going to do that. So she can tell me things and I can say, okay, right. Here's what I'm worried about. Like as an example, she went on a road trip with a friend, a boy, and we were like, she's 25.
If you're not like watching this, Laura's face just went very red and it's very
sorry, Laura. So she's 25. Like she's a big girl job. She's 25 years old. And we're like, I don't want that. And we talked about it. And she said, okay, well, I don't know whether it was you or your dad, Laura, but she shared her location services. Like she shared her location. So that was a real gift to us because we were able to communicate to Laura, we're worried about this. And she was able to say, okay, well, that makes sense.
I'm still going to go, but here's like a middle ground. Yeah.
Like we could stop her anyway.
There was no fight.
Yeah. It wasn't you're controlling me. It wasn't any of that.
Nothing. And it was like the whole time I was communicating with you guys, like there were no hard feelings. I felt supported in this trip.
But you know what? Happy for you both that this is where your relationship is at. I wish this for myself.
Before really Family Connections, man. A little bit like this, right? And then, you know what then would have happened? We would have had this much communication. Zero communication.
Yeah, because it blows up. And then you can't address it. I've run into this all the time with my own family and it breaks my heart and I think everybody's heart, right? It's like everybody's so traumatized by like everything that when you try and have conversation, it just blows up if you don't have those skills and that like willingness and ability to have those hard conversations to the point where it's not even a hard conversation. The irony is it could have been a hard conversation, but it wasn't because you are all on the same page. I think that's really huge.
It hasn't been like easy and it's taken a long time.
Yeah. I mean, It's been what, 13 years?
Well, 13 years since the hospitalizations, but maybe how old are you now? I think from the age of 3, we were
right. Yes.
Like we were always pushing against each other because we didn't, and I think, we didn't understand. We didn't have any skills at all. We had no understanding. And, I was telling Laura this too. I was told by a grade school counselor I needed to take my power back.
Right.
And so that resonated with me because that's how I was raised. So okie dokie. Yeah. That was not helpful at all. It made it so much worse because I'm now, telling her not to feel the way she feels, not to behave the way she behaves.
Not trying to like figure out why the behavior is happening.
So it's been a long road for us.
Is your dad he's around? Is that right?
Yeah.
So does he go to Sashbear stuff as well?
He sets up the tents every year.
At the walk.
Does he?
Which is on May 9th in Burnaby.
Yes, May 9th in Burnaby. We will all be there.
We will.
The tent guy.
Don't worry, the links will be in the chat.
Yeah,
yes, and also Laura's dad. Yeah.
Laura's dad and Laura's brother. One of the brothers. I'm working on the other one. So he doesn't. He, as Laura said, like he did come to the DBT parent adolescent, but he's not, and he's not involved in Sashbear. Except that I talk a lot, as Laura has mentioned, I talk a lot about it. So he is.
You can't avoid it.
No, he uses his skills on me, and it's like, okay.
You're like, don't try and teach me these things.
I know what you're doing here.
Totally.
But he will be there setting up tents.
Awesome. May 9th. I was going to say, I was like, is it May 8th or May 9th? May 9th. Okay, I have it in my calendar. Don't you worry. It's there. I think it was 8th last year.
Well, you're the MC, Laurie.
I'm the MC, I know. I do have it in my calendar. I'm fully aware of the date. It's early. There's so many directions I want to go here. Well, one of the directions I think is like, you talked a little bit about how, somebody told you to take your power back, right? Which was not helpful. There's a difference, I think, between taking your power back and setting boundaries and keeping yourself safe and well. What does that mean for you, Alison?
Yeah. So in Family Connections, we talk about observing limits.
Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't really. I guess because Laura was so young when this started, and we were, in the boundary setting, which didn't work. I guess it's just become natural that we realized we can't do that. We can't just set up it doesn't work to just set up these walls. And at the same time, there are certain limits we're going to have, and we need to observe those limits. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying, okay, so for me, one of them was when she went away to university. This was very difficult for me.
Where'd you go? You're in Vancouver, right? Where did you go?
We're in Vancouver. She went to Ontario.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Look at me answering for you, Laura.
What did you study?
Kinesiology.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
She's a nurse now. I'm a very proud mom. She's a nurse now.
Oh, that's so awesome. Congrats.
So we one of the things I wanted was I thought what I needed was her to respond. As soon as I texted her, she would respond. As soon as I texted her, she would respond, right? So that was kind of my limit. When I text you, you respond. Well, okay. That's kind of my limit, but that really didn't really work for Laura. So we kind of had to work it out that, I would get like a thumbs up, or I would get a response when she's in class. She's not going to I got to text me. Yeah. So that, I mean, that made it, it's not the best example of a limit, but it's the one that's kind of come into mind is this is what I needed for me to stay regulated. And this is what, she needed something else. So we had to kind of negotiate and come to an agreement that was going to work for both of us. Mm-hmm. Because it's just what I wanted wasn't realistic.
You can't control other people's behavior.
I know, Laurie.
It's very annoying.
But I want to.
Because I want to so bad. But you can't do it. I don't know why. Laura, how did that feel for you? Like you go away to university and you're trying to, get your mom to stop texting you 24 hours a day.
I think I understood why.
Yeah.
It was very hard for her to let me go. It was hard for me to go too. And my mom and I, we are very close. So the texting was, it was okay. And especially when we came to the understanding that I didn't have to respond right away.
Yeah.
And then I kind of I remember anytime I would text my mom, she would text me back right away. And I sometimes would be texting her back before class, which was 3 a.m. in Vancouver.
Right.
And she would reply.
Mm.
And I remember having the conversation when I was like, you don't have to answer me right away.
No, I remember that.
Because I don't know if you slept with your ringer on.
I did.
Yeah. And that's the thing is we because we care about each other so much that we like put our own health at risk. Or like, I mean, it's obviously that's a bit of a dramatic statement, but like that's not healthy, right? To like have your ringer on and text your kid back at 4:00 in the morning every day. Like, and so I love, Laura, that you were just like, hey, I'm noticing a pattern here.
Yeah.
What's going on? This isn't normal.
Yeah. And then she had to, sorry, Mom, but my mom had to trust me too, that if I needed her, I would call.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, there's so many layers to that, right? Because I was just like, when you said that, Laura, it was like, and you needed to trust that when you called me, I wasn't going to like lose it.
Yeah.
You know, that's sort of one thing. And then the other thing was, I realize now, like having done family connections and facilitate, family connections, is that I was bringing all of the baggage, all of my emotional experiences with me to this. When I text you, you need to text me back kind of limit or demand, right? This was not that moment. Like, but I was bringing all of the behaviors, all of the experiences, I was carrying it with me to this interaction, which I now see wasn't really fair to Laura, and it wasn't healthy. This was now. Right? And is it okay if I give the example of starting university, Laura?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So she goes away to school, and her dad and I are like, and she calls, like, okay, I go, we do the winners, buy everything, go set up the room, the whole thing. I stayed for, I think, 2 days, Laura? And then I left.
I don't think so.
Okay, a day.
I think it was like less than a day.
It was, bye.
Yeah.
And I went home. We had another kid at home. He had his own issues. I had to go back to work. Yeah, I got lots of reasons. Anyhow, I swear, within 3 days, the phone rings at like 5 a.m. And when the phone rings, like it's not a text, it's a phone call. It's like something bad, right? And she is so upset and she hates it. These are not her people. She cannot stay here. Blah, 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 blah. So now my husband, we're both up, and we've decided that's it. She's coming home. That's it. He's on the computer. He's booking her a flight home. Oh. I'm like, okay, you just start packing. Your aunt will come from Toronto. Like blah 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 blah. And our younger son gets up, and I don't know how old he was at the time. Hey, Laura, like
14,
14 something. He gets up. He's like, I said, okay, so Laura's coming home, and he stands there in his jammies and he says, "Are you guys crazy? She just got there."
For a second.
And both of us just, oh. And I went over to my husband. I'm like, your son thinks we're crazy because she just got there. Oh, yeah.
I guess she did.
She did. So we changed. We pivoted. We're like, okay, don't pack or unpack.
And did you say, Laura, like, I want to come home?
Or for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I'm coming home right now.
Oh, yeah. She's coming home. And we were afraid. We were acting out of fear. Like, if we don't bring her home, what will she do?
Right.
What? And that was it. We were just pure fear. Like, there was nothing else there. And so we decided I would go there. So I talked to my boss and got permission to work remotely. This was pre-COVID, and I went there. And we had some long walks and talked a lot. And we had to have some real conversations about what it means if you leave, because you're not like going somewhere else tomorrow.
Because I would have been dropping out.
Yeah, totally. You've paid tuition, you've gotten in.
Yeah.
You're going to get either withdraws or fails on your transcript, which will haunt you for the rest of your life. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. There's so many like again, wise mind and emotion mind and rational mind, right? Like there's so many things that you have to consider that aren't wise mind in that moment.
Yeah. And we had to sit like now I can see the skills that we used. We didn't even know we had to sit in that discomfort and that pain. And I had to sit with a girl who was sobbing.
Oh.
And I stayed for 2 weeks. And the first couple of days, I stayed in her residence room with her in the little single bed.
Did you have a roommate? Or it was just you?
No,
okay.
just her.
But it was a co-ed floor.
A prison cell. Like,
yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I've been to the dorms at SFU, and they're like, actually like a prison cell size. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shared bathrooms and stuff, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Who is this old lady here?
Like, who's that weird girl that's like, mom is here?
Right? Oh my God. So you stayed for 2 weeks, but only the first couple days in the room.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Lou? Yeah. Hey. Mm-hmm. And then I got a room in a Airbnb. So I lived with 2, university students or something, shared a bathroom. I don't even know who these people are.
Oh my God, this is so good.
And I just worked during the day, and then I would meet her after class. And right?
Yeah.
And it helped. Like, it helped you kind of settle into it a little bit and realize that it was like actually okay.
Well, yeah, like anyone who's gone to university, gone away, knows how like difficult it is, right? You don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And then I think towards when you left, I was like ditching you for dinner. I was like, I'm going to the dining hall with so-and-so and so-and-so.
Aw. That's awesome. But like, that's like, I think that showcases so many things, right? That showcases this like propensity for us to just like panic because we know that sometimes things go wrong and then not think about it rationally. I love that your brother was like, you're insane. That's hilarious. And then also like what actual, like sometimes support is just physically being with someone. You weren't trying to, at that point, you're not trying to solve the problem, right? You're just literally physically in the space and like, I know that you're there if I need you and vice versa. That's such a good example.
And I learned a lot about myself there too. Like, I need time to acclimatize to change situations.
Well, how old were you? Like 18?
18, yeah.
Yeah, that's so young. I can't even imagine like going to school like across the country at that age.
Yeah, I think I could have used a gap year, honestly, to just be 1 year older.
Yeah.
But we were in it, so.
Yeah, here you are. It worked out. So did you do your nursing degree there too?
No, I came back and did my nursing degree out here.
Okay, gotcha. So, okay, we can cut this if you don't want to talk about it, and we don't need to go into any details, but I'm gathering like suicide and self-harm have been part of your story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just, and Alison, that's the part where you panic, right? Like that's the like kind of human nature, like I need to save my kid because my kid might do something. That's where that's coming from.
Yep. I thought I was the only one that could keep her safe.
Yeah.
For a long time. And I don't know if this is where you want to go, Lori, but just in terms of relationships, like it was very difficult on the relationship with Laura, like with her parent, like with my husband. With Laura's parents. And, there was like a period of time where we weren't even speaking to each other when Laura was really, really not well, because I was so afraid and it came out as anger.
Yeah.
And I was angry at everybody and only I could keep her safe. So I didn't even trust my husband, her father, to take care, to be the one at home, to take care, because only I could do it. And so it's not even sustainable. Like it's just, I look back on it now and I'm like, oh my God. But that's where I was, right? This was my child. She's mine. She's nobody else's. She's mine. And I have to keep her safe.
And it feels so impossible when somebody you love is feeling that way, or feeling like, dying by suicide or harming themselves, because you're like, I would do literally anything in the entire universe for you to not feel this way. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yep. I wouldn't let her out of my sight. I used to sleep on the floor outside her door so that if she left, she'd have to step over me. Like, right?
Yeah. We get desperate, right? And Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, self-harm is something that comes up a lot when parents talk to me because it's so easy to like over panic about self-harm, I find, as opposed to see it as a coping mechanism, right? It's like, oh my God, my kid's gonna kill themselves. And it's like, well, actually, it's a lot less related. Like self-harm and suicide is a lot less related than people think it is. But it's so easy to panic because people just, you're like, I couldn't imagine doing that.
And when you don't understand it, Lori, like it's
Mhm.
just like, just stop. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, the most, like to me, probably the most unhelpful question. I don't know, Laura, you might think have something to say on this, but like, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Like,
I was asked that so many times. I'm sure Laura was too.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Just attention.
it's
I
just
know.
attention, hey Lou. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, just attention, or like they're doing this on purpose to be in control, or like there's so many narratives that I think people spin to try and understand our behavior, but really, at least in my opinion, like all of our behavior comes down to like emotion dysregulation. And that's the part that I'm so happy for you guys that you were able to get into DBT so quickly, because that emotion dysregulation bit, I'm sure, was so distressing. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, you spent three psych stays, whatever. But like that period of like 13 to 20, you skipped a lot of that because you had at least some understanding that emotion dysregulation was the underlying issue, as opposed to just like, oh, she's just nuts. She's just a mean person. She's just whatever. Or she's just dramatic or whatever it is, which I am dramatic, to be fair, but
Me too. Me too.
it's more entertaining that way. I don't know what to tell you.
Add spice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd be so boring if I didn't have the drama of it all. So for both of you, what supports do you wish families had that they just don't get?
For me, I think my biggest support is my parents. And a lot of young people, a lot of kids just don't have that. And parents that will do absolutely everything for them. And it's a difficult one because it's not an easy fix. And so many parents have their own traumas, their own issues from how they were raised. And then their parents have, it's intergenerational, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I would be here today, and certainly not where I am, if it weren't for my mom and dad, because my mom went out and figured everything out and was like, my child will not like fall through the cracks here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and everything, like academics, when I was in school, people kind of dismissed me. And because of my like BPD anxiety. And my mom was not going to let that happen. And there are so many kids that don't have that. And then they don't reach their full potential.
You need fierce advocates on your side to get through these things. Yeah. And honestly, like being willing to pay to go to the DBT center. That's not cheap.
No.
That is a very, very expensive commitment.
And you know, I'm so lucky that I had parents that were able to do that and that found that to be where they wanted to put their money
invest.
and their time.
Yeah, and I'm sure you don't regret it in the slightest, Alison.
No. No. And you know, we had a community of support, and it's funny. And I'm sure, you know, others listening, or you, Laura, you know this too. It's often not the people you expect. It can be quite surprising. And so it's, you know, sometimes where's the casserole kind of thing. You know, the people that we thought, or I would have thought would have been like, how can I support you? They weren't the ones. There were a few people who were so helpful and so supportive, and I'm so grateful to them. You know, when Laura really was not well, she was 13 and hospitalized. Her brother was 9.
Yeah.
And her other brother was 16, 17. So we wanted to do DBT once a week in downtown Vancouver. How am I going to do this? Because we don't have any family in here. We had these angel friends who just give me the give me the younger one, just all the time.
Wow.
And our older one, friends, he had to go to basketball and whatever else. They just took him.
Just did it.
So, that's one thing when you talk about what supports do I wish? Well, I freaking well wish that the first time I went to a counselor and said, I don't know, somebody said, have you ever heard of DBT?
Yeah.
Because holy crap, it took a long time. We didn't get there till she was hospitalized. Nobody said that. So that's one
hospitalized
thing.
Multiple times,
yeah.
right? Like not even the first time. It was the third time, yeah.
Third time. A psychiatrist said, have you heard of DBT? And I'm like, no.
I laugh, but it's not funny. But I laugh because it happens to so many people. And you're just like, this is an evidence-based treatment for emotion dysregulation, self-harm, suicide, and anger.
I know.
Why wouldn't you bring this up first?
I went and I didn't find Sashbear, which I wish I had. But
yes.
I took Connect Parenting. I took Family to Family. I everything I could find. Partly now I look back and I think it's because I had to feel like I was doing something.
Yeah. Fair.
So I wish that healthcare providers would just say it, offer it. People don't. I will choose what I do.
Mm-hmm. Totally. But you don't know what's out there until somebody tells you.
Well, and we're not at our best, hey? We're at our worst. So I'm supposed to be dealing with everything and, at 2 a.m., which is what happened, Googling stuff, like trying to find something. Why do we all have to invent the same freaking wheel? Which is where Sashbear comes in, I think, partly, right? Is that it's out there and we just need to keep talking about it because the Family Connections program it's a place to start to educate
they have
yourself.
The information about other services
they
will
do.
Connect you. This is, my family didn't go to Sashbear and I am such a firm supporter of Sashbear in every single way because I am like, had they had that, whether or not they would have attended is one thing, but we can discuss, that's whatever. But like, they at least would have had a community of people who understand and would have been able to have these conversations about like, wow, this is really scary. I'm in fear every single day of my life. And they wouldn't have felt completely alone or like failures or like bad parents or like their kid was going to hurt somebody because they're bad people, right? Like there's so many things that you learn from others you just like don't get from Google.
Yeah. And I just want to say two things about Sashbear because I think I didn't say it. One, you do not need a diagnosis or a referral. You just Google the Sashbear Foundation and Family Connections is there and it's free.
And I'll put all of that in the notes as well. Don't worry.
Okay.
So
because I think it's really important to know that you don't have to get a doctor to refer you. You don't need a diagnosis, nothing. And that's really an important piece of it.
Well, and it's the same with the Super Feelers Club, like the peer support that I do for people with BPD or like with BPD or emotion dysregulation issues. You don't require a diagnosis because, as we've learned, people aren't told about the diagnosis. And like there's so many system gaps that like if you're struggling with intense emotions or you're a family member of somebody struggling with intense emotions, like you should be able to access care whether or not this system decides that they're going to write something down for you or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Low barrier.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So on the Sashbear front, we're May 9th in Burnaby. Mm-hmm. There's a Sashbear walk, and I will put a link in the show notes to donate to. There's a team Super Feeler you can donate. You can come join us.
You have a team, Lori.
I do. I make a team. It's usually just me and my husband, to be fair. It's not usually very large. But anyways, I have a team, Super Feeler. And it's a super great walk every year. I think it's about 5K-ish. 5 kilometers. It's not long.
Nope.
It's super chill. It's slow. You don't need to be a fitness expert.
We're all being orange, and it's near Swangard Stadium, so that side of Central Park, and it gets to what you were talking about sort of this community of support, right, Lori? Just to be just to be with people who have a similar experience. And you see, we're all normal people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like this just can be part of anybody's life. You know, it's not something that it happens. Some people, it just happens. It's just who we are.
Yeah. And there's people that come from like Kelowna. There's people that come from all over the place, the island. Like, I think some people came from Ontario last year.
Yeah, I think there were 4.
Yeah, they do walks all over the place, just so you know. So you can look on the website, which I'll link, but there are walks all over Canada. But some people came to support their kid who had BPD in BC, which was so cool. Like, you can't.
I think it was 4 generations, Lori. I think there was.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know. I actually really wanted to get them on the podcast, but I didn't get their contact information. But yeah, it's so cool, and it's just like a really beautiful day. It's in the morning. It's only like a couple hours. It's not a huge commitment, but the MC is going to be hilarious. And I'm just kidding.
Awesome. Our MC is going to be awesome.
And a couple of speakers
live music.
That you'll know. Yes, live music. So Katie, who you have heard on the podcast in late March, Rakesh and Katie were on the Relationships miniseries, and Katie is going to be a musician, which is very cool. And then Michelle is a speaker, I believe, who you've heard as well, the Mindful Wildflower. And there's another speaker coming, McKenna, right? Is that
McKenna? And then Dr. Alex Chapman from DBT Vancouver is going to say a few words too. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Yeah, he's on my list of people I need to get on the podcast, because I've known him for like a very long time, but I have not had him on yet, which is very strange. So that's great. I will harass him at that. I am so excited for the walk. Every year it grows. I mean, the first year was in Surrey, which is where I grew up, and it was pouring rain. It was so disgustingly rainy, and it was a small little group of us. We had a great old time, and every year it's just getting bigger and bigger, and the amount of support that people like show is just, it's awesome. I love it so much. So hopefully we'll get some more people out this year.
Yeah.
And there's a silent auction, which, as a person who loves impulsive spending, is one of my favorites.
There is a silent auction. Yes, there is.
It's a really great excuse to impulsively spend and support charity.
And Laura scored a donation for us, so...
Yes.
Laura's great. She got a donation from Legree West, which is like one of those Pilates studios, those fancy Pilates
fun.
Studios. Yeah. So there's a class. It's a class pass. Yep.
I want to go to one of those so bad. I do a lot of hot yoga, but I don't do, and like mat Pilates, but I want to go to one of those reformer Pilates places.
Oh, they're so good.
Right? But they're so expensive. And I live in Abbotsford, and there isn't anyone. I think the closest one is like 25 minutes away. And I'm like, I'm just not going to drive that far, that's just not going to happen. Anyways, now we're on a whole other side note.
Business opportunity.
Yes, there you go. Exactly. Yes. Let me just somehow find how much money you need to buy all those reformers and learn how to teach. Anyhow, so yes, Sashbear Walk. Can't wait to see you all May 9th. 2 last questions for you both. What gives you hope today? Maybe I'll start with Laura.
I think for personally, or for
whatever.
For me, on a personal standpoint, our family, I have a lot of hope that we are going to be able to, keep going, and the next generation of kids growing up, that we're going to be able to support them and have them grow up and be in touch with their emotions and validate their experiences and help support them and have it so they don't experience the same pain and dysregulation. I'm not saying it well, but just not even get them to that point where they feel those big emotions. And I know there's bad stuff's going to happen. That's life.
Yeah.
But
if we can prevent any of it.
Yeah, to get through it. And then on a bigger level, I really hope we get to the point where we're not so afraid to diagnose BPD or say to a child they are exhibiting BPD or just even emotion regulation. Here is some magical skills group that exists, that is high quality and amazing, that everybody can take, every parent can take, every child can take, that can just help them regulate themselves and, get away from the stigma that surrounds BPD and emotion dysregulation.
So well said. Thanks, Laura. Alison, how about you? What gives you hope?
Well, that just gave me a lot of hope.
Thanks, Mom.
That was beautiful, Laura. I agree with Laura. I think I think that we are, as a family, becoming more skilled. And what gives me hope is that, and I think this is kind of what you're talking about, Lou, is we're letting go of the judgments. We're letting go of the interpretations, and we're learning I'm learning, and I think, Laura, you are, to just observe what's happening without judging it, without making up that story. And my family generationally, we're very good at that. And so what's giving me hope is that I am learning and practicing skills to build and continue to have such a close relationship with Laura. And I'm hoping to work on it with my older son and with my sisters. So I'm hoping that our family will have more effective, healthy relationships going forward. And what gives me hope in the big pictures is kind of what Laura was talking about too, is, we need to keep talking about this. We need to keep pushing for groups, support groups, skills groups that don't cost so much, and that the mental health professionals need to tell people that if this is emotion dysregulation, these are the things you can do to help support your loved one. These are the programs. This is what's available. You can educate yourself. But you have to give us a place to start. So I'm hoping that we keep talking, they keep listening.
We're going to keep talking. You can't shut me up. That's for sure.
Good.
I mean, honestly, you guys give me so much hope, because I could not have this conversation with my mother. And it breaks my heart. Like, it's just not a thing that would happen. And the fact that you're able to have these conversations and grow together through the discomfort, it's honest, truly makes me emotional, because it's not something that I have, and I'm not sure I ever will. And so you give me hope that at least this is possible for some families. Okay, final question. Alison, what do you love the most about Laura?
Oh, I can only pick one thing. I love that Laura has a compassion to her that is it's just so deep, and she's realistic. I don't know if that works for you, Laura. Like you're so compassionate, and like you're kind and you're compassionate, and at the same time you see things the way they are, not what they should be, the way they are. And that's where you bring the compassion and the empathy to where it is now, not what it should be. So I love that about her. And I've never said that to you before, Laura.
No.
I love that. And Laura, what's your favorite part about having borderline personality disorder?
I think it's given me an understanding of people and the emotion driving the things they say, how they present themselves. I'm a nurse, so I see a lot of people on their worst day or days. And often the way they present themselves is not how they probably want to. And I think it helps me understand that and not hold it against them in any way, and just understand that this is where we are and how are we going to get through today. And yeah.
So well said. Well, thank you both so much. It's been an absolute honor chatting with you both and getting to know you better. So I'll see you May 9th at the Sashbear Walk. And
Yes,
thank you all for anybody who donates, who wants to come to the walk. Obviously, we'd welcome you with open arms and would love to have you. It's a really great day. Thanks so much.
thank you, Laurie.
Thank you so much for listening to the Superfeeler podcast. This episode was recorded on the traditional and unceded territory of the Matsqui and Sumas First Nations. If you'd like to learn more about the Superfeeler podcast, share your story, or participate in the Superfeelers Club, which is our peer support group, it's totally free, virtual, and open to anyone who experiences intense emotions or has borderline personality disorder, please check out the link in our show notes or go to laurieedmondson.com. If you would like to support the show, we would very much appreciate it. There's an option to do monthly small donations at whatever denomination you'd like, patreon.com/superfeeler, or again in the notes below. Thanks again and have a great day.